The biggest thing is with this now is that what are our political class focused on? What are our political class focused on? Obviously, they're focused on people talking about this. They're focused on people talking about this. They don't want you talking about this. It's why they brought in the online harms bill. That's why now they're trying to criminalize VPNs, for example, and stuff like that, right? Same way that they do in North Korea and all these other places, right? Because they don't want people knowing the truth. They don't want people knowing the truth. The person that posted this next video, which I'll go through now, I haven't actually watched it yet, says every time you use a VPN, a child dies, because now they're trying to make the case that this online harms bill or online safety act, whatever it is, all about the children, right? It's all about the children, despite the fact that one of the biggest things it's censoring. It's about the children. It's about the children, but it's censoring rape gang victim testimony. No, it was never about safety. It was never about anything like that. It was never about the children. It was always about control and curtailing free speech, as we talked about last time. Video coming to you now, ladies and gentlemen.
For everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone. That's surely what we should aspire to in this country. For everybody.
So there we go. Blatant admission. Again, they tried to dress it up. They tried to make it seem as though they're concerned about the children, but they, blatantly censor rape gang testimony and try and censor footage coming out of or migrant hotels and stuff like that, where they're actively trying to bus in people that put children in danger. No, the biggest person putting children in danger is you not verifying your age, you not giving every single element of your privacy or whatever it is over to us as the regime that are going to take care of you. Yeah, that's why Ronald Reagan said there's nothing more terrifying than somebody from the government turning up to your house and saying, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. But no, it's you, the person who wants actual privacy when they browse online and stuff like that. No, it's you. See, the innocent person that just wants to remain a private citizen, not a global citizen, right? Or a public citizen. Yeah, you are the problem. You are the ones making children unsafe. You are the ones exposing them to all this stuff. Not us doing all of this heinous stuff through the public school system. Not us trying to educate your children and saying that they're sexual from birth and all of these things, right? That they have sexual and reproductive rights, but parents don't have parental rights and all stuff like that. No, it's you, the VPN user. Of course it is. I'm proud to say I'm using a VPN at this moment in time. Very, very proud of that. Who knows, maybe I'll get a knock at my door. I've got a feeling a knock at my door is coming soon anyway. So, yeah, but this is the thing. This is where the regime always focus in it. They don't want to tackle the problem. This is the thing. People are constantly asking it, well, why is this happening? Why aren't they tackling the problem? Or what do we need to do to tackle the problem? You've got to understand now, ladies and gentlemen, surely that, again, I know that I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, right? And I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. But obviously they don't want this problem solved. They don't want this problem solved. They want to use every single thing. They want to use every single aspect of the problem as a greater foothold for more totalitarianism. As soon as you realize that the whole point of everything that they're doing is slavery, everything makes sense. Everything then all of a sudden clicks into place and makes sense. Until you realize that, you'll never understand it. Until you realize that, you never understand it. Until you realize just how evil, just how controlling, just how manipulative your government is being on purpose, because that is the goal, you'll never understand why they're doing what they're doing, and that it's not incompetence, but that it is malice. And anybody who talks about it is the problem as well. So what happened in Cincinnati recently with the Cincinnati Music Festival, if you heard, was that there was a mob of black people had horrifically beaten and abused a few white people. I believe it was a white family, and I believe there's a woman that suffered. And again, a lot of it, again, I'm looking through the comments trying to find the photo I'm looking at the moment. It says, due to local laws, we are temporarily restricting this content until X estimates your age. I'm just trying to find the photo of the aftermath of the woman, because the woman one of the women in particular was, she's not looking good. Just trying to see if anybody's got the thing. All right, bear with me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I've just found a photo, ladies and gentlemen. So here is a photo of the lady. She was, I believe, put on the ground and stomped on, I believe it was. These are the injuries that she sustained. So for those of you who are listening, not watching, she has a very, very noticeable black eye. We're talking like it's going up around all the eye, right? You know, you think she's taken a massive shot directly to the face. And, you know, all bruising and cut around her lip and stuff like that as well. Nose appears to be swollen. Cheek appears to be broken as well, just underneath here. Little marks on the other side, but we're seeing this from only the one side, so it's quite difficult to see what's going on the other side. So what happened was in Cincinnati, there was a massive brawl that broke out. From what we understand, for racially motivated reasons. So obviously you spent an entire generation, multiple generations telling them that one side was always a victim and the other side is always the oppressor. The groups that you've targeted are the groups that are responsible for, you know, all of your problems and all stuff like that. And I'll just show you a little bit of footage from it as well now. So this is the kind of stuff that was going on in Cincinnati that we're talking about. So I'll just turn the volume down just a little bit. So you see here, the guy gets jumped. And a lot of these instances, they're like about 4 or 5 on one. So you see they're just stamping him on the ground. I was seeing this because the media didn't cover it initially. You've not just got men involved, it's women as well. So you want women are equally culpable in all of this. That's the thing with equal rights come equal responsibility. So this is the kind of stuff that we're seeing, right? And it's forming a pattern. It's forming a pattern of racially motivated hatred manifesting in now violence. Not just manifesting as words or anything like that, but manifesting as violence, because you've spent a whole time bending over backwards for criminals and bending over backwards for horrible people, trying to scapegoat the people who are responsible for their problems onto these other people. And then you can't be surprised then, as Matt Walsh said in his show the other day, you can't be surprised when people act on that. People act on that and then people get seriously hurt or killed. We've seen that time and time and time again. But the Cincinnati police chief, obviously the problem was not the fact that a black mob went out and attacked a bunch of white people. The problem was the fact that the media was showing it. That's always the problem. As I said, the problem here is not the fact that young children are being raped en masse by foreigners, that the government are actively housing foreigners that are going then out and doing these heinous things towards children that are actively putting us in danger. No, the problem is the VPN user. The problem in this instance is the media covering it. That's always the problem. The truth is always a problem. For those who want to continually peddle lies, the truth will always be a problem.
Another topic I want to cover real quick.
Get on with it.
Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media,
good start,
that we've seen does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event.
The funniest thing is, right? The funniest thing is, so it's complete obfuscation, the fact they didn't obviously have the situation under control. They could never control the situation. The funniest thing is that all of the mainstream news organizations, where you're seeing the people turning on each other now, people on the same side turning on each other, the mainstream news organizations are usually bending over backwards to try and cover for things like this, saying that it is white privilege, or it's the fault of systemic oppression, all of these. He's trying to justify these things happening, right? Trying to turn, victims into oppressors and trying to turn oppressors into victims. That's what they're trying to do. And now you have the police chief come out and saying that trying to blame the media, right? Just where they know they're culpable, they know that everything that they've done has led to this. They know that their improper policing and improper reporting in the media has all led to this. But now they're all turning on each other because when the thing inevitably happens that they say doesn't happen, you know, we're always talking about white fragility, white privilege, white this, white that, systemic oppression, yada, yada, yada. Well, when you have things like this happen, it all can't happen. You can't be racist against a white person, all of these things. Whatever the thing that happens, that keeps happening, that they're telling us isn't happening or doesn't happen, again, they have nowhere else to turn. It's kind of funny to watch them spin their wheels and try and get out of it, just to cover for their own incompetence. But that's the thing. Now, not only incompetence, but malice is putting people in danger. People could have lost their lives. In many instances in this country, people have lost their lives by police incompetence and by police outright neglect and malice. And again, it's where everything we're seeing now is not just a phenomenon in the US or the UK, it's all over. It's all over. And ultimately, the only thing that's going to change it is public pressure. Public pressure. Public pressure, for example, on the Plaid Cymru leader, Runab Iorwerth, who, again, I believe he still has me blocked. Does he still have me blocked? Yes, of course he does. Awesome. And there's a screenshot commented of something which I believe is either on X or on Facebook here. And he just outright tries to lie about the Nation of Sanctuary plan. So, again, if you think that Plaid is anything but an anti-Wales party, I'd hate to break it to you, but you're wrong. They try to market themselves as the party of Wales, is literally what Plaid Cymru means. But they're not. They're anything but the sort. They are an anti-Wales party. They're a party of foreigners. They are a party of foreign bodies, so like the WEF, the EU, United Nations, World Health Organization, all of this stuff, right? So they're an anti-Wales party. And he commented on somebody's post, I believe it was, saying, hi, it was a person known as Gavin Jones. He says, hi, out of interest, do you know what the UK-wide nation or cities of sanctuaries concept is? Clue, it's not about inviting more migrants, just outright lies, because that is exactly what it is about. That is exactly what it is about. If it wasn't about inviting more migrants, why would we be targeting 1.5 million refugees in Gaza? Why would we say we have to make more? If it wasn't about inviting more migrants, why would we be saying we have to make more safe routes or safe legal routes, whatever it is, for people to enter here? That's literally the entire point. He thinks you're so stupid. He thinks you're so stupid that he'll literally say this thing that is literally about and is all in all but title about getting more people from foreign nations to come here because we want their votes, is not about getting more people to come here because we want their votes. You have to, and again, just the fact that we've gone to the point now where he feels that he can get away with this. He feels that he can get away with this, right? Imagine how stupid he thinks you are. And the guy says, hi, I appreciate the reply. Yes, I do know what the concept stands for. It's a nation that fosters a culture and welcomes migrants. Yeah, so it's good to see people not being, not seeing right through it. But honestly, just a nation of sanctuary. Who do you think of when you think of a sanctuary? You think of people coming to this place because they need help in some way. That's what they want to make you think. That's what they want to make you think. That's why they're using the term. But no, they're using the term to cover up to try and make it seem virtuous, to try and make it seem they're targeting vulnerable people when these people are not vulnerable, but they're bringing them here because they want their votes. That's what they vote. That's what they want. They don't care about the Welsh person anymore. They're putting all of their eggs in the basket of foreigners because they're banking on people coming here in enough number. They're banking on our birth rates declining so much and foreign numbers increasing so much so that we cannot vote our way out of it anymore, and they no longer have to be accountable to us. They already don't feel as though they're accountable to us. They want to make that a permanent reality. And that's the way they're doing it, by getting more people in and incentivizing us to have less kids, incentivizing Welsh people not to have families. Through feminism, through having women in the workplace so that they can't take care of kids, so that everybody is dependent on the state in a 2-income household, all of these things, right? It's because they don't want people of this nation having families. Less people on one side, less voting power. And they want the people who they are banking on their votes, so they think that they're banking on their votes to have more power than us. It's treason. It's treason.